Welcome back to CSM TV. We're back from a short break. Been working on cleaning up the garage, trying to get things organized. Put up a new little shelf here for our fab table with all our battery tools and whatnot. Been stacking up some parts for this winter build. Got a few of those over there, and working on getting some lists going for the winter upgrades I want to do for both of these cars, both the Galant and the Colt. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Who wants to watch me do something stupid? Okay, so like I said, we got some things to do. I had some control arms sitting on the bench, but ran into a snag. So we got to move on to something else. You'll see in the next video what exactly I'm talking about, so stay tuned for that. We do have plenty more to do. So we have our built head on the bench, our built bottom end on the stand. We need to get those together, but first we need to get the engine out. We got a few things we got to pull off so we can actually assemble all of that stuff, and I will go over the specs on the engine and the head once we get some of this stuff out of here. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I know you guys seen me pull this engine several times, so there's no need to really throw it, but throw video of it on. So go ahead and try this. We might be able to make some magic happen. You think this snap works? Let's see. With the engine out, we can get into tearing into this thing. Keeping a few things, reusing some, mainly replacing all the timing belt components, which were just replaced. And if you've been here a while, you've seen me do that. So the reason I got new stuff is to keep it on this stock bottom end. So if we ever have an issue with the built engine, that thing will be good-ish to go without hurting my wallet too bad with, trying to replace everything that's on there. So stuff that can stay bolted on can stay there, and some of this stuff, well, really anything OEM Mitsubishi is getting really hard to find. So having spares of those is not a bad thing. So yeah, we got all the pulleys, a tensioner, a new water pump, which doesn't look OEM, but it's the same manufacturer that manufactured the OEM water pumps, and it is way cheaper. So, and I don't think you can get an OEM water pump unless you find one at a dealership somewhere maybe, but I couldn't find one, so we're going with that. And then of course all the gaskets and whatnot. So most of the alternator pulley, all that stuff. There's a crank sensor in there, stuff that needs to go on. I didn't want to buy spares of just to have sitting, so we'll have to pull that, pull the cams out, some other stuff. We'll get to that. But this bottom end has been in the car for a long time. Long time. So I first pulled the engine out of a wrecked front-wheel drive Talon in 2006. Ended up swapping it into the Colt, and actually I have a video of the first startup. So since I've swapped the car, it's obviously been through several different changes, several different turbos. It's been front-wheel drive, it's been all-wheel drive, it's been manual, it's been automatic. Went through a couple heads. I bent some valves in one head. The other one I just popped a head gasket and need the head refreshed. Broke some drivetrain parts. Man, I think I've put over 150 passes on it. And I mean, that's just the slips that I could find. Who knows what, if I have some others that got thrown in the trash or something like that. But it's also made over 52 10-second passes and one 9-second pass. So definitely not mad at that. And I have never even checked the bearings on it. So as far as I know, it's still a completely factory bottom end. All right, like you guys saw, we got pretty much everything pulled off the old engine. Still got a couple things left that need to come off, but we're out of bench space. So we're going to go ahead and move on to assembling the new engine. And the bottom end was built by Tyler over at Forced Engineering up in Michigan. I've only heard good things from him, and I've had some really close friends have pretty much every engine they've had built by him and tuned by him as well. So really good guy to work with, and did an awesome job on this bottom end. So on the bottom end, first up we got a set of Wiseco 9.5 to 1 pistons. Try to spin, and it is a stock 2-liter. So no stroking, no boring out, no nothing. Did go with a set of aluminum rods, R&R aluminum rods, Kigley girdle on there, all ARP hardware, and ACL raised bearings. He also modified the pickup tube. You guys have seen that before, and we found out once he pulled everything apart that it has straight cut oil pump gears, which nice little bonus that I didn't know what was in there when I dropped the block and crank off to them. So moving on, the head is from Head Games. Had that built back in 2020 when I was pretty gung-ho about getting a built engine made, and then we all know what happened next. But so I kind of chilled out on that, but the head was already at Head Games getting built, and then ended up going with a Motec, going with the standalone on the car, trying to learn that before I put a built engine in, which I think was the right move. Anyways, on the head, it is a 1G head. It's got their Pocket Port R port on it. Went with a set of stock-sized Ferreira ProComp. That sounds right. ProComp valves. And then on this side of things, we did Kigley valve springs and retainers. And then we're going to be reusing our GSC2 cams. So, yeah, anything else, feel free to ask if I missed something. But yeah, let's go ahead, and I need to get to work. Real quick, got the oil pan on. We did use this gasket from Next Racing. I believe it's Anthony Gonzalez that makes those. Hopefully I got that name right. But it should take no sealant. I didn't put any on there, so hopefully it seals up. I just want to see if I can try it out. So we don't have to pull it off and reseal it. We'll see. Next thing we're going to do, L19 head studs and a SCE Vulcan gasket. So it's a composite gasket with these steel O-rings that go in. I haven't tried one of these. I was going to go with like an HKS MLS on the recommendation of Tyler, but he actually spoke pretty highly of this gasket as well. So that's the one I have. That's the one we're going to go with. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these installed. Alrighty, head is on, head is torqued. Got started on the camshaft install. We got all of our lifters in and rockers on this side, and about ready to go ahead and install the rest of the cam. So let's get to it. Cam's in. We got our Kigley HLA installed as well. And I couldn't resist. I got a new set of AEM cam gears I threw on, and there's nothing wrong with my old ones besides the color, which I was being super picky about. But so yeah, you see these little bronze color? These are a nice gray color, and I wouldn't have known except for my buddy. Little Matt, for his Colt, got the same cam gears and got these gray ones. Lucky enough, there's a local guy that had a set of these, so I was able to trade him out a set of cam gears for his. So next up, we will be working on all the timing belt stuff and finishing everything up. All right, quick update. I know it's been a lot of talking in this video, not a lot of me showing my work, but it's been a lot of trying to find bolts and cleaning parts and painting parts, trying to make everything look pretty fresh. And this is nothing you haven't seen me do before, so I haven't really shown it. But yeah, anyways, she is pretty much ready to go, all nice and cleaned up. A lot of bolts I had to find, and then cleaning bolts and painting stuff. So we got it all sorted out. Timing stuff's all on. Only thing we got is a turbo kit to do, and obviously it's behind me. Yeah, once I started cleaning stuff up, I couldn't put some of these parts back on without getting them cleaned or painted or coated or something. And I've been wanting to do this a while for the wastegate and BOV. I don't like polished stuff, but I had polished the wastegate. I got used, so didn't really have a choice in that. And then I did the blow off valve the same just to match. And yeah, got to change the color now. I can't ever keep polished stuff clean, so I'm going to take these to the powder coater and get them color changed. And then falling into the while you're in theirs, went ahead and pulled the compressor cover off the turbo, so we're going to do that. I'm going to send these pieces off to my buddy Sean to get vapor blasted because these are looking pretty rough. And then we might do something there. I'm not sure. Trying to keep it minimal, but we'll see how that goes. But I need to get the powder coater and get this stuff dropped off, and we will finish up some other things. Okay, so I got those parts dropped off at the powder coater over at Shane at PCT Coatings, and ended up asking for prices for the manifold, the exhaust housing, and the wastegate, and it's too good of a price not to pass up. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this pulled apart, and we'll get this over to Shane to get Cerakoted. Okay, got all the turbo parts ready, pulled off, ready to go, and yeah, ready to get coated. So one last thing need to do before we can get rid of this engine and shove it somewhere in the corner. Just need to pull the trans off, and then need to get the flex plate off as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into that. No need to be a hero, use an engine hoist. Unless you hate your back. Okay, so last couple bits we need to get off the engine. Flex plate, the spacer for the 6-bolt to 2G transmission. And then I'm probably not going to take this out. I'm probably going to get a new one. We still need these dowels as well because they go with the spacer plate. They're longer ones. So yeah, see if we can get all this off. Got a heat gun out, ready to heat up these bolts because they are red Loctited. It usually works pretty good for me. I don't like to use a torch, but I usually like to use a heat gun. It works just as good, seems like. And got our impact with a Chrome Daddy. That's probably a bad idea, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and get into it. With all that stuff out of the way, the last thing is this pivot bearing, which I've seen people got to use all sorts of tricks to get them out. They use bread, they use everything like that. I kind of touched it, and it feels like it's just going to pop right out. So pulled right out. I was going to do a whole funny bit with bread, but guess we don't have to. I ordered a spare one just for this occasion because I didn't want to pull it back out if it's going to be a bitch, but I guess it's out. And yeah, and that's why I sent everything to powder coat, because I thought I'd be waiting on one of these guys to show up. So guess we're done here. Okay, with getting our flex plate off, that'll do it for our old spare engine. That thing is ready to go, get shoved in a corner, and can sit until I need it again. So yeah, I got everything we need off of it. Man, super happy the flex plate came off as good as it did. I usually don't coat it like some people like to do with red Loctite, so it's a little bit easier to come off. And I don't make that much torque, so I don't know if I should do more, less. Let me know in the comments what you think. But yeah, I was hoping to get the engine back in by the end of this video and this little break I have from work. But yeah, with sending everything off to get coated, I'll have to wait till that stuff gets back. I would rather mock everything up on the stand rather than do it inside the car. And it's not like I'm in a huge rush. It's only, you know, beginning of January, so got plenty of time to get this thing done. And I say that, and I'll hopefully not be rushing for shootout or anything like that. But yeah, so we got some parts off to the coder. I need to send some of these parts off to my buddy Sean. I need to order some more parts, some more gaskets and stuff. So yeah, with that, I need to go order parts, and we'll see you on the next one.